Lexie Hull was this close to being forgotten in the WNBA shuffle. Drafted with promise, but stuck in the shadows. And then came Caitlin Clark. In a stunning interview, Lexie Hull finally revealed how playing alongside Clark didn't just boost her game, it literally saved her career. This story is about faith, resilience, and how one superstar teammate changed everything. Asterisk flash text. Lexie Hull opens up Caitlin Clark effect. Let's rewind. Lexie Hull was a standout at Stanford. A gritty defender, a sharp shooter, a grinder who brought energy every possession. But the WNBA? That's a whole different level. When Hull joined the Indiana Fever, she struggled to find a rhythm. Inconsistent minutes, limited touches, endless whispers about whether she'd stick around in the league. Analysts called her a role player at best. Fans? Some weren't sure she'd last another season. And the truth? She admitted it herself. Her confidence was slipping. Overlay, early Fever stats, tough shooting percentages, clips of missed shots, and bench time. And then, boom, the Indiana Fever draft Caitlin Clark. Instantly, the spotlight shifts. The Fever become must-see TV. Arenas sell out. Media follows every move. And for Lexie Hull, it was the break she didn't even know she needed. Cut to Clark's draft night. Fever practice footage. Lexie smiling beside her in warm-ups. In her recent interview, Lexie Hull revealed exactly how Clark's presence transformed her role. She said, and I quote, "Playing with Caitlin changed everything. Defenses key in on her so much. It opens the floor for the rest of us. Suddenly I had space. I had confidence. I felt like I belonged again." Think about that. When Clark bombs away from deep, defenses scramble. And who benefits? Players like Lexie Hull, wide open in the corner, free to slash, trusted to hit the big shot. And when you're hitting those shots, minutes go up, trust from the coach goes up. And suddenly, your career isn't slipping, it's climbing. Show clips. Clark double-teamed. Lexie hitting an open three. Clark dishing assists to Lexie. But Hull didn't just talk about on-court changes. She opened up about Caitlin Clark's leadership off the floor. She revealed, "Caitlin is always encouraging, always reminding me to shoot, to stay aggressive. Having that kind of superstar believe in you, it means everything." And that's the part casual fans miss. For players on the edge of rotations, it's not just skill. It's mindset, confidence. And Clark gave Lexie Hull that lifeline. Overlay, training camp clips, bench celebrations, Clark high-fiving Hull after a bucket. And the results? Night and day. This season, Lexie Hull is thriving. Her shooting percentages? Up. Her defensive impact? Noticed. Her energy? Unmistakable. Analysts who once doubted her are now praising her fit alongside Clark in Boston. She's not just hanging on in the WNBA. She's carving out her role, proving she belongs. And she credits Caitlin Clark for giving her the confidence to keep fighting. This is bigger than just one teammate helping another. This is about the Caitlin Clark effect. We've talked about her impact on ticket sales, TV ratings, and social media. But now, we're seeing her impact inside the locker room. She's not just lifting franchises. She's lifting careers. For Lexie Hull, that's the difference between fading out and breaking through. And for the WNBA, it's a sign of how one generational player can elevate everyone around her. So what's next? The Fever are building something special. Caitlin Clark, the offensive engine. Aaliyah Boston, the inside force. And role players like Lexie Hull, stepping into the spotlight when it matters. And Lexie? She's not done proving herself. She said it herself.
And then came the moment that changed everything. April 2024. The Indiana Fever win the draft lottery. The number 1 pick is obvious, Caitlin Clark. The most hyped women's basketball prospect in history. A generational scorer. A media magnet. Suddenly, the Fever weren't just rebuilding. They were the most watched team in the league. For veterans, that spotlight meant pressure. But for players like Lexie Hull, it meant opportunity. She said, and I quote, "Playing with Caitlin changed everything. Defenses key in on her so much, it opens the floor for the rest of us. Suddenly I had space. I had confidence. I felt like I belonged again. Think about that. Clark's gravity, defenders swarming, double teams flying at her, gave Hull something she never had before: freedom. Suddenly, she wasn't the pressured shooter. She wasn't the forgotten role player. She was the one benefiting from Caitlin Clark's superstar pull. But Hull didn't stop there. She revealed something even deeper: Clark's leadership off the court. She said, "Caitlin is always encouraging, always reminding me to shoot, to stay aggressive. Having that kind of superstar believe in you, it means everything." And that's what makes this story so powerful. Because when you're a role player fighting for survival, confidence is the game changer. Hull admitted that Clark's belief in her lit a fire she thought she'd lost. It wasn't just basketball, it was identity, belonging, purpose. "I want to be known as more than just a role player. I want to be the teammate you can always count on." That's heart. That's grit. That's the story of a player who almost slipped through the cracks, but instead found new life thanks to her teammate. Cut to fever huddles, Hull smiling with Clark, crowd cheering. So there you have it, Lexie Hull breaking her silence, revealing how Caitlin Clark saved her WNBA career, from Stanford star to struggling pro to resurgence with the fever. Before Caitlin Clark, Lexie Hull averaged under 4 points a game, with shooting percentages hovering in the 20s. With Clark in the lineup, Hull's numbers jumped: more minutes, higher efficiency, and her best three-point shooting stretches of her career. Analysts noticed. Commentators went from questioning if she belonged to praising her role as the perfect three and D-piece alongside Clark and Aaliyah Boston. That's not a small shift. That's the difference between being cut and being part of a franchise's future. It's the kind of story that makes the WNBA so powerful. Rivalries, friendships, and players lifting each other up. But now I've got to ask you, do you think Lexie Hull can keep climbing and become a true star for the Fever? And is Caitlin Clark already proving she's not just a superstar, but a career changer for her teammates? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you're rooting for Lexie Hull's rise. And don't forget to subscribe, because this WNBA season, it's only just heating up.